Hello, Sagittarius. This is TG from Consequential Clairvoyance, bringing you a moon phase reading. A moon phase reading is a bit of a particular sort of reading, wherein I channel the goddess Athena to guide me through a multiple phases reading. It is a general reading. How many more shuffles, Athena? 3. Okay. That's not a shuffle. That is. It is a general reading, so please remember to keep what resonates with you and leave the rest behind. This is for the new moon phase on November 4th, 2021. Links to all decks will be in the description. And if you see me or hear me referring to something or talking about something to myself straight off the top of Athena, yes, such as I just did, that is just me communicating with the great advice of the wonderful goddess in her wisdom and so forth. More so the dark side of the moon, if you will. I then clarify these 3 Moonology cards here, more space, with 3 cards from traditional tarot each, for past, present, and future. How many more shuffles? 2 more. Okay. And then I lay a piece of cloth over and do a little bit more detail as well. With a, again, particular type of reading that's a bit more individualistic. We have 3 off the top. Yes. First one. Second. The third one is how many? 2 in. Okay. So these are cards. Very nice, very nice. Ooh. Interesting. Emotions are running high, and then you have an ace and the devil in the reverse. Interesting. 2 shuffles? Alright. Your commitment is being tested. Ooh. Oh, okay. Top 2. Oh, okay, so we need 2 for this, and then 1 and 1. Okay. And then a new romantic cycle begins. Oh, okay. Okay. Whoa. 3 shuffles. Alright, so be it. Okay, I'm saying that's good enough shuffle. And then 3. Top 3 off. Okay. Straight off traditional style. Sounds good to me. So first we have Supermoon. Emotions are running high. I haven't had Supermoon yet, so let's read it. This card suggests that the answer to whatever you're asking is writ large, like the silvery full moon set against the velvety night sky. If you're wondering how successful something is going to be, such as a job or relationship, the answer is very successful. To use common parlance, the answer to your question may well be that it's under your nose. Parlance. I don't even know. I'm not going to use that. Anyway, this card is about being larger than life, being special and bursting with energy that you can tune into and work with. Okay. You can expect plenty of good things and a positive outcome when this card comes up, but you may find that there's a lot of emotion to deal with too. There's also a sense that the opportunities around you, whatever you're asking about, don't come along every day, so take action. Success is close. I just must trust. Don't ignore the obvious, and make sure you don't blow events out of proportion. Interesting. Perhaps that's why we have more intense sort of cards here, it seems like. First you have the emotions running high, Ace of Cups in the reverse combo here. A new creative project is calling, but you are not ready to heed the call or go public with your creative pursuits. You are experiencing a flood of emotion, but you are keeping it contained or hidden from others. Right, so it literally says you are containing emotions that you're going to have to deal with, literally, to a point where bursting with energy, it says. But it also reminds you that, a resolution to your question is closer than you may think. And don't ignore the obvious. So let's go 6 of Swords. I have a feeling that has something to do with that. You are in a state of transition, a physical move, rite of passage, or mental shift. You are leaving behind what is familiar and comfortable to move towards the unknown. This is essential for your growth. So, physical move and rite of passage stand out more than mental shift, per se. So this feels a little more specific. So maybe there's some sort of physical change in your environment or rite of passage you're going through, and you are containing your emotions, making them run even higher. Is that not quite the situation you say, Athena? So let's see. We have the Devil in the reverse. Let's consider that and see where that takes me. Be aware of self-sabotage and self-destructive behavior. Release any self-imposed limiting beliefs that are standing in the way of your growth and expansion. So you have some sort of potential okay, so I think I'll go back to that and then I'll be clarifying it. Okay, no, it's definitely potentially a mental shift as well, because it says leaving behind what's familiar and comfortable. I feel harkens to the self-imposed limiting beliefs. Yeah, so you're self-imposing some sort of limiting belief that's causing emotions to run high, and you're not moving towards the unknown. Instead, you're sitting in the familiar and comfortable, which it's going to be essential for you to let go whatever's causing these high emotions. Now we're talking. Okay, thank you, Athena. So leading up to this new moon here on November 4th, you're going to see yourself in a situation where there's going to be a lot of high-running emotions, but the reality is those emotions going to be coming from a new circumstance. Ooh, you have a new moon card. That's nice. Always a good help. And acceptance is going to be key, likely, in terms of trusting in the success and not so much these emotions that are running high. In the present, we have first quarter moon. Your commitment is being tested. I don't know where the first quarter moon is. Let's find out. Nope, the front though, we can tell that. First quarter moon. Haven't had it yet. Read it too. There could be some challenges coming your way, but they're just the universe's way of testing you. First quarter moon calls for you to face any hurdles with confidence. What do you actually think is possible? If you believe you can do it, then you probably can. If you spend your life affirming that something is too big or difficult for you to surmount, it probably will be then. See how that works? Do you believe your dreams will come true, or have you secretly already given up? Showing some commitment now will help you move towards your desired outcome. What you believe to be true is true for you, so believe in yourself. I'm committed to my dreams and move towards them with confidence. Right, okay, so again, it's saying that these emotions are going to come to I don't want to say a peak, but a crossroads, so to speak, where you're going to have to make the decision whether or not to believe in the possibilities of the future or the possibilities of these high emotions caused by your past beliefs. The answer to whatever question you have is yes, but not yet. So it's going to be a test as to whether or not, potentially for even up to 2 weeks between the time moving up to the 4th of November, maybe the 2nd even, it could start getting to that crossroads point. And so it may not feel overwhelming, but it may feel like something that would wear you down over time. And in essence, if you can find the new frame of mind, even then, You may not see this future that we will soon therefore talk about come to fruition until closer to the full moon, mid-November. Slightly later than mid-November. So in regards to this commitment to whichever you might choose, being tested... no, Athena says no. In regards to your commitment to this new future being tested, it's not really much of a choice other than whether or not you want to sit in your own sentiment, I guess. Now that's the truth of it. Thank you, Athena. King of Swords. In the reverse, your expression of power and authority may be misdirected. You may be indecisive and feeling stuck. Center yourself and connect with your inner power. And Judgment in the reverse. Okay. You may be troubled by past actions and choices and their consequences for the present. Self-doubt and judgment are holding you back. Self-doubt. You are so close to a major shift, you just need to get out of your own way. Yeah, so, when you seem like you're in your own way, and you seem like you're super close, and you're dealing with a lot of self-doubt, and looking at the past actions and choices and their consequences, and applying an expression of power and authority in a potentially misdirected sense, and you feel stuck, not to be rude, but the circumstance denotes that you're the one sticking yourself there. And once you recognize that, you will start to move towards, pardon me, the Empress. So when you address that, immediately thereafter, though, because you're so close, abundance and creativity will flow to you. You will embody the mother archetype, and will be bringing a new project into being. The divine feminine energy flows through you as you grow to nurture your babies. Okay. So as soon as you let go of the emotions that are unrealistic for the future, you will move into a new nurturing sort of future, and everyone will obviously therefore a bit look up to that. Then we have the Nine of Cups into the reverse to... So rather than looking outside for happiness, look within. What does success look like for you and to you? How do you define it? If your outside world is not bringing contentment, change your definition of success. So once you realize that you're there more to take care of something in the situation rather than your own emotional, mental, and general perceptive state, you will immediately thereafter come into an instance of contentment, change, and definition of success that's more realistic for you, and therefore a better emotional state, I'm sure, as well. Let's turn this around a bit. And then it will, moving towards the new moon in mid-November. Hold on a second. No, can't even bring that up. I'll have to do that. Interesting. Moving toward the end of this phase, we have New Moon in Libra. A new romantic cycle begins. You think after the fourth time I've gotten that card throughout these readings, I would just, I did. I turned right to it. Wonderful. So yeah, give and take could be the answer to whatever dilemma. Compromise. Excuse me for a second. Sinus infection. Okay. Compromise may be what's called for. It's a time to start negotiating or even renegotiating. Yeah, definitely. When this comes up, there's a restart for you and for someone else. A new relationship could be beginning. And if that's the case, the chances are that this will be a healthy and well-balanced connection. And anything you do after pulling this card, doing it in pairs is advised, such as teaming up with someone in a business or in your personal life. So, already based on what we've heard, as long as you stop living in your head and within your own expectations and come up with ones realistic for the circumstances of the future, that you're going to have people willing to work with you on that. It seems a lot more fluid than and balanced than the situation can end if you stay in your head. So, to speak, that therefore means that the tides are not going to be in your favor unless you work with them. And until you do, could be quite a lot of turmoil and you'll just be stuck in this past. It's whether or not you work with this, though, that may decide where you land within the full moon coming later in November. Getting back to the future, Libra is the sign of relating, and this card suggests that whoever is at the heart of the issue you're addressing is someone who will be open to talking things through, right? Avoid being selfish, though, as it won't get you anywhere at this time. Reach out to someone and let them know you care. Feel more, think less. Marriage or engagement is on the cards. It's very important. A legal matter will go your way. And pay some attention to your appearance, but don't be all about it, because the reality of the matter is you're just looking to appear capable of maintaining a balance within an interaction between two or more people. To clarify, we have the Wheel of Fortune, which you couldn't have asked for much better with this exact circumstance. You are experiencing a cycle of change, as it's sort of denoted so far. The wheel is turning and your situation is constantly evolving and shifting, which is probably part of this new assessment and emotional expectation. You can expect it to be constantly evolving and shifting in the future. You may need to therefore be picking something in terms of your own conscious goals for this circumstance that adhere to a possibility of constant evolution and shift. What goes up must come down, and vice versa. So, basically, as soon as you stop living in the negativity of it, it will start moving up. Then we have the Nine of Swords, which could be speaking to what happens if you sit in the past. I have a feeling. No? Okay. Athena says no, it's completely something else. You are experiencing deep inner turmoil, and as a result of your thoughts, you are experiencing deep inner turmoil as a result of your thoughts and mindset. Fear is stripping you of your life force. Get a reality check and evaluate which fears are warranted and which are not. Release your limiting beliefs, crippling fears, and self-doubt. So it says that some of your fears may in fact be warranted, but you have to release the limiting beliefs that you may have been attached to because of your own experiences, of your own perceptions, or what have you. Crippling fears and self-doubt. Now, if you're working with that, then again, I think the fears would hearken more to circumstances where you're living in the emotions, but self-doubt might be more about you potentially not believing in your ability to adhere to this in the long term in terms of this shifting cycle, this new cycle. But you should remember that, again, this is in Libra. This will be fair and balanced and realistic. Maybe not 100% practical every single step of the way, but in the end, it is. And then to culminate, we have Two of Swords upright. You are facing a challenging decision, a fork in the road, crossroads, if you will, as I said earlier. But you are unsure which option to take, and in the future, you're advised to look closer. There are aspects that you are not currently seeing that will help you make the correct decision. So be open to things you may not be seeing that are right in front of your face, and you will find good fortune. Things that will have inevitably, yes, gone down, but therefore are about to go up and bring forth balance for everyone. With that said, we're going to go into the second phase of this reading, because this is pretty straightforward. I'd like to see what we get from the Neon Moon Tarot, which is offered by a group called PixelOccult on Etsy. I will again be including the links in the description. Normally this is for a month, but I do it for the phase. So if you hear me saying month, I mean phase. I'm doing that wrong. And eventually my brain might catch on to the fact that it needs to just say phase instead of month. Even though I've blacked it out on the paper and done this, dozens of times, saying phase. How many more shuffles? 2 or 3. So we'll see whatever the wonderful goddess, wise goddess, tells me to do. That's 1. Only 2 if I do it that good? Okay. But in this reading, I make a spiral of sorts that... No, that's good? Okay. Right off the top? No, 3 in. And then right off the top? Yes, that's okay. And it is meant to lay out in a sense that is similar to the phases of the moon itself, so that's likely why it's 1, 2, 3, 4. For the month, because throughout a month you go through both phases. And there we are. Also, if you like what you see here, do know that there's a full size. This is the pocket size because I have so much going on in such a small space. But the full size tarot deck is wonderful. It comes with a book instead of these papers I had to print out by hand, put them together, and a lovely tin. Yeah, and it's well in stock at the moment. So anyways, first, what energy will be waxing during this phase? We have 3 of Pentacles, or 3 of Zent in the reverse. Waxing this phase is misinformation, disregard of skills, or secrets. So coming in might be people's secrets coming to fruition, a disregard of what you could consider to be skills, and some sort of misinformation. Yes, so, yeah, I don't think there's any complexity to that. It is as it states. There's no subtextual thing jutting out to me within the quote, as there might sometimes be with this deck. Let's organize things a little better here so that it actually matches what I'm supposed to be saying here. There we go. That's better. 2, what energy will be waning during this phase? 3 of Wires, or 3 of Wands. So waning during this phase, you have foresight, preparation, and enterprise. So again, it spoke of those preparations or expectations you may have had in the past, and that they're now going to be becoming more of an ever-shifting circumstance. Yet it also speaks of a loss of foresight, which inclines the same, so to speak, based on what we've been talking about. It may seem like your foresight of the past was irrelevant and that you might not be able to formulate entirely a new one. But again, if you look to take one that is ever-present rather than stringent, you'll be in a better place. And whatever enterprise of the past may start to just literally evaporate before your eyes for whatever reason. Evaporate? Nay. No. The goddess says, changing into something new for the new moon. Okay, that's just all there is to it. It will just change into something new for the new moon and be more flexible than Athena? Not quite. Not for everyone. Some maybe. Okay. So maybe it will, maybe it won't be flexible, but it will be an ever-changing period of time, at the very least up until the next full moon, correct? Now we're on it. Okay. So that whether or not it's forever that way, forever so malleable, is going to be different depending on what type of Sagittarian you are and what your circumstances are at this present time. 3. What can this energy bring to me? We have the Ace of Wires. So, Ace of Wands. This energy can bring to you creation, beginnings, potential, and inspiration. So again, as soon as you let go of this hullabaloo from the past, all these shifting expectations, and adhere to something that's realistic for the circumstances as they're going to be, you'll find, a creation of new circumstances, new beginnings, better potential, and better inspiration for the circumstances at hand. 4. What can this energy take from me? We have the 6 of Arms, or 6 of Swords. Oh boy. Double check. This energy can take from you transition, recovery, refuge, and travel. So maybe you suddenly won't be going on a trip. Maybe you suddenly won't be achieving a certain recovery or transition you were expecting. It could take from you refuge. So maybe you were, in your mind, finally able to retreat from some sort of something, but it's going to take from you a level of comfort on a personal level, again, because it's taking it from you, not the environment around you. So this will be within. You'll feel like something has been taken in that sense. But again, it's easier to emotionally deal with that situation when you realize that it's probably everyone else around you changing. You're just shifting your expectations from the sound of things. Your definition of success is what's shifting here. So, of course you may have to come out of your shell to look at the circumstances around you, and that will therefore bring you out of this refuge, as it says, or this initial sense of what things were. Anyhow. 5. What can this energy bring to my environment? Yes. Let's see. We have the Ace of Zent, or Ace of Pentacles. So this energy can bring to your environment, it's in the reverse, a lack of planning, uncertainty, or lofty goals. So the funny thing about that is pretty much everything we've spoken of thus far. It will bring into your environment a lack of planning and uncertainty, but also lofty goals. So that's pretty much everything we've talked about. I'm not going to look for a hidden message there, because that's what we've said. Right? Yeah, Ace of Pentacles. What can this energy take from my environment? 6, we have the 9 of Wires, or 9 of Wands. So this can take from your environment resilience, courage, and persistence. Okay, but see, then here in the subtext within this quote, it says, I try to be understanding, I try to be compassionate. If you think of yourself as having a soul, you'll watch it die little by little as you let things important to you be destroyed by brutes. Okay, so that's being taken from your environment. So it's almost talking about, in this context, an unhealthy persistence. Too much courage or resilience. And I think it's taking from the environment around you a necessity to act that way. But emotionally for you, you're going to have to go through it first, obviously, as we've just defined, in order for that to come to fruition. Now, 7. How to deal with that. What to passively embrace during this phase. We have 6 of Wires. In the upright? Yes. Yes. So, passively embracing progress, victory, recognition, and confidence. Again, once you accept that things are as they are and rectify new expectations, you're going to find that you can passively, too. You don't have to be open or expressive about this. You will simply, experience progress, victory, recognition, and more confidence within the situation, which is great. It's exactly what it said before. What to passively reject during this phase. 8. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. Passively reject providing wealth, family, and leadership. Interesting. So passively reject. See, but in the subtext of this, it talks about a false sense of the happy family. A TV family, so to speak, it says. So you're passively rejecting a facsimilated concept of being the provider or providing, or someone providing for you, a facsimilated sense of wealth or family, and a facsimilated sense of leadership. So it's not to say that you're not the leader, it's just to say what you think of yourself as a leader within this is going to change, and you're going to have to passively reject the old expectations. And that's just all there is to it. Am I on the money with that one? Certainly. Thank you, Athena. Right, moving forward. 9, what to actively embrace this month. So, maybe vocally, or at least actively acting upon the circumstance, if it will. Let's see, what do we got? 2 of Pentacles. So what to actively embrace is 2 of Pentacles. Is that in the upright? I do not think it is. Yeah, 2 of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay, that's interesting. Actively embrace the chaos, disorganization, and overwhelming stress. So, again, it says overwhelming stress, but it may not necessarily be, like, you'd be said to actively embrace it. Maybe you're actively embracing the fact that it's overwhelming in the eyes of others, and yet for you it's something that you may just let, I don't want to say go, but pass right by you. And it says to actively embrace the disorganization and chaos. So it's probably not your chaos, is what I'm saying, because the overwhelming stress is likely only to affect you, from what I'm hearing, if you stay in these old expectations. That's the one. Okay, thank you, Athena. Good. But actively embracing the disorganization seems to me to just be more straightforward, because from whatever this is that's coming, it's going to leave you disorganized, and you may have to actively embrace that to such an extent of allowing yourself to recognize what this new expectation of yourself will be. You're going to be disorganized when you don't have a sense of expectation of yourself, even for a period of time. So maybe the active embracing of it is to actively embrace the potentialities in the back of your mind as you deal with the circumstances at hand. To finish off the reading, we have what to actively reject this month, and it's temperance. Interesting. That might be a fun end to this. So actively reject balance, calm, moderation, and wisdom. So this isn't going to be a balanced or calm situation. This isn't a moderate change. And you may not see it as being wise. But you're going to have to actively reject it. And you may even be actively rejecting it in the sense of hold on, let me look at the subtext here to make sure before I count them chickens. See, it says, in our chaos there is order, and in their order there is chaos. So it's saying basically that chaos and order are perceptions. You're going to have to reject some form of wisdom. Maybe it's the old one you once knew. No doubt more often than not. Okay, thank you, Athena. You're going to have to be rejecting moderation that you may have once learned, and sense of balance and calm. You may have to learn to actively reject the concept that you can reach some sort of calm with whatever the situation is. And again, it is what it is kind of thing, so to speak. It is not necessarily you who isn't calm. Within your situation, you may be fine. And it may be better not to be calm about what this is, if you get what I'm saying. Better to express yourself and allow this person to deal with the situation rather than expect unmanageable emotions from the past. You may just have to expect that things won't work out with a particular situation with a person or people. That's the one. See? And so things just, maybe they won't work out for you, and they'll work out for the better in the future, But even if you adhere to new concepts and a more malleable mindset of what can be expected, it still may be, as I said, it is what it is, in the sense that it's not what you expect. It might not even be what you would want for the circumstance, yourself, or the situation, for all we know. But I have a feeling that with the full moon, things will come to more of a culmination. No doubt. Okay, thank you, Athena. That's what she's getting at here. So, this is going to take time. If I recall, I might have mentioned in some of the parts of the reading an instance of patience. The patience is not you waiting for your own so much emotional dealings with the situation. You're going to probably find it pretty easy to come, more so than you would think, into a new emotional circumstance with the situation. But the other people might be going through it for a while. So you may have to embrace that chaos as the leader, in a sense of it's around you, not so much within you, even if you do it right. But come the full moon, mid to start and move towards late November, the situation will change again into your favor. I believe that's what the Wheel of Fortune was referring to. Now we're talking. Yes, thank you, Athena. So with that, Sagittarius, I hope you can keep it happy, healthy, and real. And with great love, namaste.